characterizes Lenny are these two players who are able to just take fights left and right and win them again and again in times you wouldn't expect. But the thing is, it's different though. Last week when they lost SH, you saw Cookies and CJ and Connor. It was about the systematic intel game from SH. Is Lenny gonna be able? Is that the reason why Parabellum lost? Does Lenny have that in them?
Well, I'm sure if any team does, Lenny, the meteoric rise they've had could very well have that in them. First band coming out will be Thatcher. It was the band that Parabellum had last week, so we'll see a new attacking band from them on Villa. At the very least, in the very most recent history, they've banned a variety of operators on this map. Will it be a hard breach? Will it be something different? I imagine it'll be a hard breach. Might be something different, but could have a bit of a surprise on hands depending on what it is. And that is not the exact operator I had in mind. Wow, Yana ban.
Again, these bans that are operators that are strong enough to get banned, but usually don't get banned. Once again, we're still going with that same trend because Yana is a very powerful pick. It's, you know, having the Gone 6, the 2 grenades, and the Gemma replicator. So there is strong enough to get banned, but usually get banned. Well, my getting banned as per usual.
And to follow things up, might have maybe a shield ban, something revolving around that, maybe some hard breach. Yep, Cade, hard breach. So now I have to say though, the Yana ban, I actually thought to myself ahead of time, what if LennyGG banned Yana? Because Spirits in their game against SH was heavily running that Yana, so might hurt one of the entries that we highlighted overall. And I mean, after all, as we saw in the player comparison, both Slippery and Spirits both heavily leaning towards that Yana, but really did not expect Parabellum to be the ones to do that. But again, I think that might go to show the flexibility that they have and Spirits willing to take one for the team to go to Yana. Sure, it might suck, but he just seems to be flexing to Ashe, which is, I'm sure, he might be very comfortable with. Oh, no, never mind. He's 6 picking off, so never mind. New territory for him.
We'll see what they pick, but maybe it's akin to showing that P have done their homework on LennyGG. And they think that, you know, because they, as I said before, they're characterized by their guns, so by their entry game, by how well they're able to just take that first pick, gain control, and do what they need to do. And here, you know, they're getting rid of the Yana, try and, you know, stop that momentum, stop that early game advantage from LennyGG. But it's hard to say. PB starting on attack first, and Spirit's not playing Yana, not playing Ashe, he's playing Blitz.
Which you might find odd if this is the first game you're watching today, but if it is the first game you're watching, you might be shocked to find out this is not the first time Blitz has been brought today. In fact, it's the 3rd or 4th time Blitz has been brought. 2 or 3 times we found call out.
I think it was only 2 rounds.
I was about to say, I couldn't remember if I knew it was 2, maybe 3, but it's the 3rd time today.
And you had the storage push.
True. But either way, that's still more Blitz in one day than we normally see in quite a while, or at least in previous history. So Spirits moving to that operator might seem a bit odd. Blitz, at least in terms of the gunplay and how Blitz plays, doesn't function exactly 1-to-1 like Yana does, but he does bring with him a level of aggression that not only comes with him, that flash on the front of a shield, able to move on in. Sure, you might not have the best gun at your back, but that's not why you bring Blitz. If you want to try to get Spirits, a very aggressive player when he wants to be, inside the building, leading the charge, putting him on Blitz, sure, it's something he might be not accustomed to, but it's something that if it works well, oh boy, will it be something to watch.
I would say too, yeah, as that entry, your big thing is a lot of people talk about is getting that first entry, or Penguin with the first coup onto Geo from pantry window. But I was talking about that first, isn't so much getting the first pick, it's getting that control and making that space for your team to push in. And well, it wasn't the Spirits to do it, but Penguin at least gets the first pick, first team, and there goes your smoke, which could be a vital need later on in the round if they go for that plant. But hey, if it goes for kills, maybe the smoke isn't that big of a deal, but we'll see what happens. They're making this mainly, they're actually pushing horizontally and vertically at the time. They're upstairs in master, they're inside laundry, and they're trying to take picks from above, while vertically or horizontally they're trying to open this laundry wall.
Nobody from LennyGG is directly contesting that master bedroom, so despite the fact that there were 1 or 2 players and still 1 player at least sitting up top, Eska's moved on in and opened up that floor. Storms and Mikey both looking over from different avenues to contest the same spot, and the same player sitting inside of master bedroom. Meanwhile, down below, Spirits and Kool-Aid both still sitting outside of laundry. The plan seems to be coming to fruition for Parabellum, and now it's just a matter of executing upon it. Eska knows that somebody might be playing close. He'll look at it for a moment, then consider nading on down, but But for right now, Parabellum, they have a lot of what they need, but now it's about a matter of not only minimizing the on-site pressure, that'd be Eska, but on top of that, protecting him and ensuring that Eska isn't taken down by either Mikey or Storms. A minute left. Smoke grenades starting to go in. With that smoke off the board, it's easier for Spirits to push on through. There's still 2 C4s. Make that 1. Now that Slippery's fallen. Spirits finds his way in the site. A bit slower than anticipated, but the 2 smokes cover his entry. He'll move around, spot 1 and Moyo for the plant, and that's one of the only 2 members of LennyGG still alive. He'll whip out his pistol, miss a lot of shots, but hit the ones that matter. Finally put on the floor. Diffuser alongside him. Oh! Suelo managed to down Kool-Aid in a very swift gunfight the moment, but still, vertical control in the hands of Parabellum. Will send a C4 up. It won't find much. Eska will finish him off. Bit of a slower round than anticipated for a blitz pick by Parabellum, but still a victory in the end.
Yeah, the characteristic of that round is probably what I've seen before from other teams is that they're able to take the minimal amount of control they needed, create that small amount of vertical pressure to, eliminate anybody nearby where they're going to plant. And at that point, the blitz was there because they smoke out. The smoke is there to blitz. That's also a good thing, too. They can smoke out and make sure nobody can see the blitz coming and then push on in and cause any players nearby, like could have been Storms, who could have been there trying to deny the plant. He's got to deal with the blitz. He can't run in and try and deny the plant. So great work on the side of PB. And really, that was just great control of top floor, not pushing. You don't need to push the roam. You just need to make sure you control what you need to, because the room, people don't roam in master bedroom. They don't usually roam inside a closet. So you can just take control, make sure you can do the minimal amount and get that plant down. Great job from PB. Great entry. Getting that first pick too to deal with the smoke, because the smoke was really the only option to deny the plant. C4 too, I guess, but the smoke make it difficult if you don't know where they're planting.
Now we have a 6 pick from the Blitz to the Ying for Spirits. Not a 6 pick sentence I ever thought I would say out loud, but here we find ourselves. This is clearly a game that is already breaking some conventions, but Ying, despite what I just said, still is not an uncommon op to bring. Not only has it been banned today, it's frequently banned on Oregon, and it's also frequently banned against PB. Spirits never hesitates to pick up that Ying if he is told to do so. It's an op that he is comfortable on, and an op that Parabellum as a whole have liked to bring out every now and then. It's not a mainstay. It's kind of like how Benny brought up earlier, how Mute is one of those operators where he's really strong and worthy of a ban, but maybe he's number 3 or 4 and never number 1 or 2. Ying's kind of like that for Parabellum. He's never an op that they want to actively bring in their lineup, but Ying is an op where, hey, maybe if one thing's off the board and you want to put Spirits on something new, Ying's the next best thing.
Yeah, I guess, bringing those blitz-type plays. Maybe they're not so much a blitz, but these one-time plays where you bring an op you usually don't bring, you throw something different at them to catch them off guard and get you some rounds that you wouldn't maybe expect. Spirits takes a bit of damage early in the round. Maybe a Slippery shooting through that aviator door in through study balcony. But the big thing, too, is that usually a lot of teams, most teams on Villa, will usually go from a north to south. Take control of Master, take control of, trophy and statuary, and then they'll have some rotate later on. But that's kind of a problem when you have a mirror on that triple wall in bedroom. It kind of makes it difficult to take control of Master bedroom. So at this point, PB kind of have to rotate and make a different play here, as they're trying to do for the moment. Got someone like Sonar and Penguin here below, opening up from below, trying to get some vertical pressure and see if they can get some kills, get that first pick.
Yeah, this vertical control is going to be imperative because for PB, they want to push from that side. As you said, they have that mirror window they have to run into, and they can't exactly just push on into study. They have our mirror window and shields watching them as well. So how they can make this vertical work, that is the big question. And might find a thorn in its side, and that thorn being Storms. Moving on in through library right now, he's down below, aided by players up top, namely Geo, playing on these vertical holes, watching bottom main, which either Penguin or anybody could rotate out of. Well, now Geo's gone, so there are still players that could retake those vertical holes, but the primary holder is now gone. Now they can focus on Slippery on main, but again, where is Storms? Is he still down below? Has he rotated off? As the main stairs players rotate back, it might be up to the Mute to make a play.
Storms could be the playmaker here, or he could have a C4 later to deny a plant. Hard to say, but that was the Ying. The Candelas, you can hear them in the distance going off. They make their entry into main stairs. They kind of take control of the main stairs. They're not taking control of study because, again, the mirror has been open at least. So there's some holes making it difficult to walk into study. But at least have one behind. So there is some flank watch to deny Storms if he goes for that eventual play. But the question is, what is the game plan here for PB? Is it going to be, behind the bar in games plant? Next step, in that case, would be take control classical. And then he thinks, I don't think anybody's playing inside of 90, so it could be easy for him to push through it. Mikey has the angle. Unfortunately, Spirits, and that lean the way it is, he can't get the kill. Swaying with one of his own. Peeking that study balcony, that aggression that LennyGG characterizes. They're winning these fights left and right. Storms with that C4, like I told you before. It Eska, though, trying to take one back, but now PB are the man disadvantage, even more so.
And now Eska, he's all alone. He's got that nade from below, but pushing onto the side. Only 10 seconds left. He finds one through the wall. Mikey will swing. He'll find one again. A great flick onto Swaylin, but only 1 HP. Storm's backing off. A Goyo shield in his way as well. It'd have to be a long gunfight for Eska to win, and with the flames in his way, nothing he can do to counter it. He'll give his life away. An admirable attempt by Eska, a triple for him, but still the first round by LennyGG.
Wow, that was quite a round. Those mirror windows were kind of the issue with Parabellum. They had to rotate their pick, had to rotate their strat to deal with those mirror windows. So they go below, they at least destroy the mirror window from below, and then they go to a main stairs take, using the concussions, the flashes to push those players on main stairs back into sight. Take control of main stairs, but the big thing here are these holes inside Aviator and Games. That first pick from Mikey. Unfortunately, I believe that Spirits was probably leaned the wrong way, so Mikey could see Spirits, but Spirits couldn't see all of Mikey. I don't know how that worked exactly, but unfortunate for Spirits, that first pick goes in the way. And then people like Swaylin, who were just Swaylin, Mikey, and Slippery, who are just peeking at any advantage they get, doesn't matter what gun they have. And they're winning fights left and right, what you wouldn't expect. Again, that's LennyGG for you.
Well, that was also SH for you in their PB game against last week, and a lot of the time, that's what would end up being PB's undoing, especially on Aviator Games. There was one round in particular when Parabellum were attacking Aviator Games. They had a lot of the angles they needed, but players from inside the site would just swing them, win their gunfights, and then Parabellum would stall out. For example, you had Aether on Tachanka inside a vault, swing Spirits on Study Window, takes him down. Gone. Same with Kool-Aid later on in the same round. That's what LennyGG did. They peeked Parabellum, took some long-range gunfights, maybe a little bit risky, but still came away on top. And Parabellum seemed to be a bit stunned at that point. Compounded by the early rotate, as you said, Benny. They were already on the back foot for a lot of that round, and there were just so many little factors that ended up into something big. Moving to Trophy Statuary, we're also seeing a big adjustment by Lenny. A move from Slippery to the Valkyrie, an operator often banned on Villa, not just for her intel, but since the entire map is almost soft floor, unbelievable potential for a C4 from below. Storm's already got a kill that way last time. They don't clear out Slippery this time. Guarantee we see at least an attempt.
That's why they have top to bottom floor. The people in dining and kitchen who are holding with reinforcements. That's exactly probably why they're Swaylin's playing below with the C4 is mute. Slippy might go down there too, so this is exactly as it is. Those cameras are pivotal to indirectly deny PB, or at least make it difficult and costly for them to take control of this master bedroom, this bathroom side. You know, they're looking for these cameras because they know that Valkyrie is a big pick here on Villa. So most likely looking around, trying to find if they can see any of those cams from Slippery, if they can find any of them. Though at the same point, it looks to be mostly a master take. Nobody's taking up from below. There's no pushes elsewhere. Nobody going study side for the moment. Though we'll see how far PB go on this take, because only so far they've opened this wall here. They've opened the wall into Trophy or into Statuary, but otherwise, not much has been done.
No, not all that much. And it's a minute 15 in. You can hardly blame them, but with how one-dimensional it is and the potential for 3 C4s from below and guaranteed 1 with Swaylin being downstairs in kitchen, the first one for his team, it's a bit difficult overall. But as there's no C4 yet, Parabellum can continue to start opening up these walls. And what you can see right now is a big reason why Hibana is banned on this map. She can just open up a very small portion of this triple wall and deny a lot of play close to it. Of course, some are shot by Geo, but it still opens up a bad angle for him to try to contend with. Impact tricky not working as well. A miss nade by Eska. Even a nade remotely close to him could have sealed the end of Geo, but instead, not only will Eska miss, he's the one that faces the first of potentially a couple more C4 kills from Lenny.
Well, it looks like they'll fire. Gio's in a great place playing bricks, but they probably know he's there. Kool-Aid peeks it, knowing someone's on the right. Here's the heavy footsteps of Maestro. One's playing by couches. Knows he can push through. Kool-Aid brings the place the plant. Can the C4 stop this? Penguin stops Storms. Mikey with a kill of his own, but Spears is in a great place to try and deny anybody swinging out from Boar. Slippery's on the return back to site. Swaylin's on Astro's stairs. These two players that come back to site split together. Intel is in the name game. They're able to deny both players. Plant does not go down. That's a huge deny from Slippery. A kill from It's all on Sonar now in a 1v2. The last two members of Slippery and Swaylin. Great retake of site.
Now it's on Sonar to try to find a way out of this. There's a crossfire from LennyGG. 20 seconds left. Diffuser control in their hand. Sure, no C4s, but the intel for Lenny on Sonar's position, just compounded by that Melusi Banshee as well. He'll find one only for a second, but it's his life taken shortly after. An excellent clutch by LennyGG to deny the plant, kill all the members of Parabellum, and to take the lead 2-1.
Yeah, I would say that was looking really good for PB. That entry into sight after getting those picks, they're able to make the way on site and make it happen. But the intel from Valkyrie, from the Slippery, was great though. They're allowed to come back to site. They're on cams, pinged out perfectly where they were. Hard red pings, get the shots down, deny both the plant and a player and trophy. So huge from them, and really it kind of characterizes why Valkyrie's banned all the time.
You get so much intel. You have the potential for those C4s. Bit of an unfortunate miss nade by SK, but you still have Kool-Aid able to minimize that, get the kill on the entry onto the site. But overall, it was that entry into the site from Penguin and Kool-Aid. It seemed so strong, but it was those denial of the players inside a statue that really was lacking for Parabellum and ended up making the round. It was Mikey, I believe, who got that kill onto Kool-Aid, and Spirits was trying to kill him, but a couple whiffed shots later, and now Mikey has one of the most impactful kills of the round. So for Parabellum, this was a site they won last time, being Kitchen Dining. They've still been that previous trophy round as well. Some solid attacking rounds throughout. It's by no way, shape, or form a Lenny game so far. And this Parabellum still have plenty of tools at their disposal to come away with this. They'll switch from the Blitz to the Ying for this site as well. We haven't seen much of it from Spirits yet. He's used it to clear main stairs, but beyond that, nothing crazy. Maybe now in Kitchen, we see its full impact, and hopefully, at least for our entertainment, a bit more flashy way. No pun intended.
Well, last time we saw this bomb site, PB were able to make a minimalistic approach. They didn't really need to clear the roam. They just had the upstairs coverage inside a master, inside a closet, and they make their play happen based off that, having the smokes from Blitz, able to smoke off and make the plan happen, push through pantry into site. Penguin getting the first pick on the smoke, so they can't even smoke, deny even because your smoke died within the first 20, 30 seconds. So huge on PB for that round, but can they make it happen again? Because big thing last time was that smoke kill, and I don't know if they can get the same kind of effect here. Swaden's also on the pulse too, so intel is the bigger part, because last time they smoked out, so they couldn't even see where Kool-Aid was smoking or was planting. But with the pulse on board, if they don't clear top floor, that pulse could easily pulse out where Kool-Aid's planting and deny the plant later on. Storm's looking to get aggressive though. Mikey is Slippery. Heavy damage already. Looks like someone may have ran out of that bicycle window. Mikey did. Lost his life for it. Slippery took a lot of damage too, and Geo goes down to Spirits.
Spirit's able to rotate on in. It was Kool-Aid to take a lot of damage, put down to 1 HP, still has Diffuser in his hands, but aggressive play by Lenny not going their way. It's the intel and the utility to even gain some small ground, but now minimized by Spirit. Storms, he was over inside a study, and he finally retakes inside a trophy and statuary, able to find the head of Sonar. That's the player up above, watching upstairs to make sure nobody goes for that retake. Now that it's in his hands, Slippery could try to use some vertical control, whatever they have, but the Yings are coming in, and Parabellum soldiers are marching in soon after. A triple from Spirits so far. Storm's now rotated down below. He's got the 1 kill for his team, or at least one of them. He's got to find 3 more if he wants them to win. Could pick up 1 onto Kool-Aid. He's the lowest HP. Just 1 bullet from the Roni would seal his fate. There is also he's intel on a player to his direct right. A C4 goes out, able to incinerate him in the corner, but Penguin is retaken up top with 3 breach charges and a couple more holes at his disposal. One right above the planter. Storms has to play it carefully. He's just going for the defuse. Penguin sees him. He whiffs the shots though. Storms is able to swing out a 1v1. He has these concussions as well. Oh no, he doesn't have the concussions. He will try to go for the peak. Storm's continuously baiting, but Penguin still has the intel, the angles, and everything at his disposal. With the time gone, no hope for Storms to go for the defuse. An admirable attempt by the Mozzie, but it's Parabellum to even it 2-2.
Unfortunate. That was the same kind of approach there from PB, but it seems though, you know, from the side of Lenny, they were ready for it. They were playing horizontally instead, not playing much vertically, waiting for that kind of same kind of execute from Parabellum. But this time, unfortunately, it went back and forth. You get the first pick from Spirits. It's huge. You get the run out from Mikey as well. Some aggression to try and stop that same kind of play. Not sure if I can consider it misplaced or maybe mistimed. Hard to say. But unfortunately, it does not work out. And worry for Lenny. Lenny tries to play out some aggression. PB are ready for it. And in the end, sometimes it could have been different there. Spirits if he had killed Spirits there on the entry, I believe it was Storms who was watching from Red Hallway. If he had killed Spirits there, maybe a bit different, because Spirits was the one that killed his teammate on site too. So hard to say. Little things could happen. Unfortunately, it just seems like though Lenny were try to adapt and change up to that kind of play that they had last time for Parabellum, because it was pretty much the same play, just didn't work out as they wanted to.
That is also, you talked about him not finding Spirits on the entry. If that goes differently, Penguin, since it was a 1v3, normally in a situation you might not have the most time to rotate up top, but since it's a 1v3, you have 2 players down below. Penguin felt he's okay, I can go up, open up some holes, play for the post plant. If you take down Spirits, and the only two people left alive are Penguin and Kool-Aid, the latter of which is on 1 HP, maybe he doesn't go up top. Maybe he plays it a bit more horizontal, and the vertical was the big thing that helped Penguin in that post plant, so maybe things would go differently. But again, that was last round, not to get carried away. Moving back to Aviator Games. This was a round that Lenny did win, but it was still very close when it came to Parabellum from the execute. They managed to work their way up main stairs and gain a lot of control, but it was a hold in both Trophy Statuary and Aviator Games, aided by a Mira that seemed to confound Parabellum for a bit. The Mira is now gone. It's not on the board for LennyGG. A bit risky. You still have some good intel on their side, but is it a case of, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Because it worked so well last time. I don't know. There's always trade-offs, but
it's hard to say. Maybe they get rid of it because last time they were able to neutralize the mirrors pretty easily from below. So maybe that's why they got rid of it. But it's still, the mirrors are still an obstacle that causes PB to have to rotate, though. So it's not like it didn't work exactly. It just had maybe a different intent. Kool-Aid here in a shotgun, ready and waiting at the window of storms. And last time, too, was just really good peeks from Lenny playing on site. They were able to get those peeks and deny study balcony, get kills on people placing, running into study, running in through classical hallway. I don't know if they can have the same effect this time because it's a different take this time. Because there's no mirror, Parabellum can go for that north to south take. Is there any aggression from Lenny? There's a shield on red, which is probably an obstacle they got to deal with. And it seems like there's some more aggression of C4s from below. So maybe this time they want to once again clear that below.
Well, they'll know that Mikey is still rotating a bit up and down between that second and first floor on red stairs. But as you said, since there's no mirror, Parabellum are free to just move on through. But another big factor for LennyGG, at least in the previous defensive Aviator games, was no presence by Parabellum or active clear and holding of down below. It allowed not only players to rotate in and out of, but Storms to get a C4 kill from below. And now he's retaken the exact same position that he got that C4 kill from last time. Even on top of that, Mikey's now rotated into basement, and now there's 2 C4s in the win unaccounted for by Parabellum. And they haven't even made their way into 90 yet. There is not a lot of control going the way of Parabellum. That might start to change, but there is not a lot of time to be moving this lackadaisically.
All right, yeah, it could be. It could be an issue. Definitely could be an issue for them to get C4 later on. Storm's in a great position to do so. He's also making a run out person in 90 as well, because that was Kool-Aid who's now left. The timing. Okay. Kool-Aid gets to the top of the roof as soon as Storms jumps out that window. Didn't have the intel to do so, so 1 C4 is off the board. Mikey has another no intel for, but is that perfect time? No. Spirits walks away from that couch as soon as, you know, Mikey throws that C4, and really now it's just the 3 toxic canisters. Swalen, though, with the SMG-11 once again is a menace and killing off Kool-Aid. That could be control that Lenny can take back.
They do still have study control as well, so you mentioned how last round an entry or kill onto Spirits on the entry could change the round in their favor. You have the potential here, quickly minimized by Spirits himself. Eska with the bomb moves on in, but no, there's no coverage from Vault. 2 people swing out from inside the site, and now the bomb's dropped on the floor. Sonar goes for the recovery, but the only player who made ground on this entry, Spirits, he's the last one alive. He'll try to move on in, let the LMG sing, but it's still LennyGG singing the high note at the end of this. Not 3 rounds in a row, but still 3 rounds on the board. Guaranteed himself an even half.
Great job from Lenny, and again, it's characterized by the fact that even the walking in, people like Swalen, who are the anchors, are so mechanically gifted, taking fights with SMG-11 and winning them again and again. Putting Parabellum down members. You saw Spirits push into study to try and deny that vault pressure, but it was Mikey coming from 90 behind them, going through Skull and denying the plant. So even though they had control of study, they lost control of the other end of the site. They lost control of Classical, lost control of 90, lost control of Red Stairs, allowing people to rotate around as they push in. So not only is Lenny getting kills in those entry moments, they're also being able to rotate the flank in those moments when the plant's going down. Great job from LennyGG. Like I said before, they could at least get an even half, but it's looking pretty good. They could take a 4-2 here.
That's true, and at the end of the day, a 4-2 half is not bad on Villa by any means. 3-3 would be solid, all things considered, but it's been the story of Parabellum's attack so far is lost or lack of full control. In AVG, it was lack of control down below. On their trophy attack, it was the most ever-present control they had, but they still had a tough time stifling the players on the site, and in this previous round, as you said, Benny, no control in Skull, no control in Classical, ended up biting them in the end. For Trophy Statuary, this was where that problem was still the least present and still coming out of a loss. They managed to start the execute out, but it was a couple missed gunfights and just a little, 1 bullet goes a different way. or just 1 second sooner from Parabellum, the bomb goes down, they cover Kool-Aid, and it's a full execute post-plant for Parabellum. This round still looked good, despite the loss. It's a matter of reclaiming what they had before and accounting for what LennyGG do in response.
When response to time is a big one because the Storm is playing aggressive inside of Aviator, but this is a full kind of roam clear from the side of PB. They've got 4 members, 1 member on 90 window pro. I think so. It looks like Spirits would be that person in second, 3 members on the city balcony. Penguins already pushed through. They have control of main stairs, and there's only 1 player of Storms. Probably will back off, I'm assuming, in a second. And the big thing, though, is someone is below the C4, and if the intel, once again, is in Lenny's favor, they could C4 these members as they push from 90 towards those doorways in the site. So Swaylin and Storms downstairs to C4, that's kind of going to be the issue of PB. I don't know if someone's going to go below and try and deny it, or if they're going to let this happen.
Well, the C4s have sometimes been hit or miss for LennyGG, but it's still a factor that you always... It's always a question. Do we want to leave that up for debate? Leave it on LennyGG to try to make it work? Well, they'll go with the latter, and for now, it does work. C4 goes up. It's missed, but there's still 2 in the pockets of LennyGG, and Slippery currently unknown on red stairs, playing a bit reserved. Back down, could rotate back down to basement as well. In fact, that's exactly what he'll do, and there's still Storms with the C4 as well. Parabellum, they're making the way on over relatively unimpeded on this clear from Aviator Games onward, and they've made their way out into 90. Diffuser in their hands as well, but with these 2 C4s, one of which finally finding some ground, will Parabellum be stopped on the execute once again?
Yeah, these C4s are impeding PB from pushing through, but they gotta wait for the players on the side of PB to push through and make this a 2-side push. You have 2 members of PB going to push in through Master, get control of bricks, try to go for the plant as long as people are bore and people buy this window in the statue who will help him out, cover him as it gets with the plants. Otherwise, those last 2 players, Gio goes down actually, maybe from a grenade, maybe from above. Hard to say, but he goes down. They gotta pick him back up. Slippery's taking heavy damage. Eski goes down inside a closet. Swaylin could take recontrol of Master. The Candles come out though. Swaylin gets a shocking kill. Spirits walks through, kills Mikey, but Gio's there to refrag. Haven't been picked up. Penguin tries to plant. Kool-Aid is only cover. Can he get it down and kill it? Penguin will. They're post plant 2v3. Post plant as Kool-Aid kills Gio. 1 player in bathroom. Penguin gets Storms. Last player, 1 in bathroom and 1. Actually, once Ash, 1 bathroom, 1 in bathroom wins that fight with a shotgun. It's Swaylin once again. Penguin here. It's a post plant though. He could win this out though. He's just gotta waste time. Do they know where he is though? The intel's gonna be big for them. He picks one off, but Slippery's at a refrag.
Both 1 HP, and it's still the crossfire from LennyGG to win it out. That's the power of angles, folks. You both can be 1 bullet away from death. But if you're coordinated and you at least cause a distraction and both have an idea in mind, it can work out. Was it a crossfire there? Honestly, I think somebody might have just been sprinting inside a bedroom and it caught Penguin's eye.
Was that a point? I don't know. Was it on purpose?
To be determined. I think we can leave. I think the modern philosophers will be asking themselves that very question until the end of time. But it still resulted in a. I'm not going to call it a crossfire, but whatever that was, it still resulted in Slippery able to get the kill. An admirable attempt by Kool-Aid and Penguin to try and clutch that out. Brought it down to a 1v2, a very winnable 1v2 at that. But still, angles were favoring LennyGG, and a 2-4 half for Parabellum. It's not great, but with some of those attacking halves, I bet they were hoping for a little bit more based on how some of those rounds started to go.
I think the biggest thing is just intel though, because I think every single round so far, LennyGG have had some kind of intel on these players on site, and it really benefits them left and right. It's been massive. That's why Valkyrie's always banned, and we're gonna see Swaylin bring out the IQ for that very reason. And of course, Valkyrie bring out Eska, and we're gonna see this could be a defense-sided Villa because of how powerful Valkyrie can be. And the mirror, of course, too on Spirit Suit. That's like those operators you usually see banned for that very reason.
I think IQ, it's always a bit of a risky pick, but since you have that Yana ban, it's not as bad. Because if you bring an IQ, as we saw, KCP last week, Wimpy brought IQ a couple times, and as a result, they ended up sacrificing their Zofia, which is just never the best thing to do when it comes to trying to balance your utility game. But here, since you don't have much of a choice, and it's almost as close to a guarantee as you can get that the defense will be running some sort of intel ops, it's not a bad pick. It still will hamper their utility a bit, but guaranteed that, hey, they might have an Echo, they might have a Valkyrie. Not a bad pick by Swaylin by any means. This go around for Parabellum as well, not contesting downstairs, not nearly to the same degree LennyGG did. They're holding this more horizontally, which just gives LennyGG some more control for the vertical control, which they were able to use exceptionally on the defense.
Well, it's the buck, but they still can have grenades do quite a bit of damage from below. And here's the intel we talk about. These cameras are huge to give PB the intel they need to play aggressive and really get those picks and timed aggression they need to do to make it difficult for Lenny. Lenny's below. They're looking around trying to find kills, and Spirits gets the first kill on the Storm. So there goes 2 grenades. I'm not sure if he used either of them. I think he used 1 at least, but
Used
in
1.
some soft breach, that is. Used 1. So 1 grenade off the board and a sledgehammer. Can they take control of main stairs? What is the intent from here from LennyGG? It seems to be main stairs take, but only do you have a player above with vertical angles. You have a player on landing with a shield. So there's quite a bit here to deal with and quite a bit of utility I do. Looks like that shield gets destroyed. Swaylen swings first. He has the J in hand, but he's getting smoked out. He still gets a kill on the Kool-Aid. Swings another down and kills Penguin. 1 entry from the side of Swaylen.
I was literally about to say I don't see a world in which LennyGG rush main like this and don't lose a body, and yet I was just blind. This was the world we were talking about. Swaylen pushes on in through the smoke, domes Kool-Aid, and takes down Penguin as well. This is the dream scenario when it comes to that main stairs push for LennyGG. It's not all said and done for Parabellum just yet. They do still have these mirror windows, both of which are still solid. 3 C4s on the side of the defense as well, and a couple operators, specifically Sonar with that mute, who are good for handling these close quarters engagements they'll find themselves in. It's still Eska to get the first pick for Mikey in the first pick for Parabellum on to Mikey in the final minute. He's even at 3-3. Still have those 3 C4s. Slippery on 90 window is eagerly looking to challenge Eska's control of this location. A powerful position, I should say, mind you. Not only does he have the option to rotate down below if they don't continue contesting this side, but it also allows him to contest Classical and main stairs, the very side where LennyGG's push started to come from. Slippery rotating off means he has much more power in this position and can help the players on the site much more directly. The first C4 goes out. It finds a kill onto Swaylen. Gio still has the bomb, but he's the only one left alive. Pushing this side of the map, he'll try to peek. It's Eska to finish him off as Sonar gets down. Slippery pushing from the back is spotted by Eska, manages to finish him off, but not before he suffers 75 HP worth of damage. Spirits peeks out. Easy kill for him to clean up, and a solid round for PB to start things off on their defense.
I would say the only good thing in that round for them was Swaylen's entry on main stairs. Otherwise,
which was incredible.
That was incredible. That was an incredible entry from Swaylen, but otherwise, Lenny had no real control. They only had main stairs control. They couldn't take control of Classical Hallway because of Eska playing 90, and nobody until the end of the round, which was Slippery, rotated for another different kind of push. They tried to get another angle on to make it two-sided at least. There was no pinch. There was no other play until the last 40 seconds where Slippery runs across the map and tries to flank. And by the time he flanks, Gio's already dead. The players all on that side are dead, and Slippery's in a 1v2.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
It was a bit of a difficult situation. I said separation. Situation for Slippery. Excuse me. But overall, yeah, as you said, LennyGG, they didn't have much beyond that main stairs control, which they got in incredible fashion. But one incredibly acquired map control compared to the, map control that Parabellum had since the beginning of the round balances out in the end, or balances in the favor of Parabellum. Moving to Trophy Statuary, Parabellum's still running that Valkyrie, still running that Mira. LennyGG will continue running the IQ in response. How much did it really do for them in that round? I don't know. I feel like it's to be determined because the biggest part of that...
the G8 did a lot.
I was just about to say, the biggest part of Swaylen's IQ pick was the gun, more so than the direct counter for Eska's utility. Might see something different here depending on where Eska's opted to place his cams, and if LennyGG take a different side of the map. But if there's more cams focused on this Aviator game side, they're pushing it once again. Could very well find some.
There's a mirror there too, so this is gonna be very difficult unless they go below. And if they go below, they could run into their player.
IQ cannot counter mirror all that well, from what I've heard.
He's trying.
I can't get those mute jammers, I will say. So
he's shooting with that pistol, trying to find below, but nobody's playing below from PB, so it's just another obstacle and more time wasted from Lenny making their way downstairs and trying to get rid of these mirrors and mute jammers and everything that's inside of games and Aviator. But what the question is PB going to play this for their lives, or are they going to play this just to waste time and utility? Because all these players are still playing Aviator games, and they're waiting for LennyGG to make this push. They make it open a small hole into games. They still have the mirror. First pick goes to Storms, peaking at 90, so there's control at least now for the side of Lenny. They can take control of 90 in Classical and really pinch these players out and cut them off if they can. Mike with another pick on Sonar. Penguin goes down to Storms. That's 2 for Storms, and this is what I talked about. This cutoff from this perfect. A C4, though, could try and give some ground to PB, but otherwise Eska and Spirits in a 2v5.
It's a big problem SH had in their game against Parabellum. Even though they ended up winning, sometimes when Parabellum would roam, SH would not have proper players in positions to cut them off once those roamers were pushed back. Storms has taken that position upon only himself and did it perfectly. 2v5 for Parabellum right now. Make that a 2v4 thanks to Spirits and a 2v3 thanks to Eska. Bomb started to go down, but now Gio's rethinking his play. What the hell am I going to do now? Marks on him as well, or directly on his position. 2 Z-pings. He can go in for the coverage and rotate back out. Eska, he's trying his best. A C4 to deny the push in to take him down. He'll re-aggress on the angle once again. Hard pings on the player's position. He's still able to kill him. And the pre-fire as well. A monumental clutch by Eska. Penguin's asking a question in chat, and I'm also wondering how the hell LennyGG let him get away with highway robbery.
Oh my god. Again, the intel was big there for the last two players. It allows them to get these kills. But more than anything, Lenny played that. Just they did not try to push him. They were trying to rush to end the round, to get that plant down. They didn't even try, like, they, at that point, getting the first person, Gio, doesn't know somebody's inside a master bedroom. So he goes to a plant, but at the same point, he also got red pinged walking into bricks. So I guess they didn't know where he was. He gets killed out. But rather than pushing out and maybe going for a plant inside a trophy, I think it was Slippery on the Ash, takes the diffuser and tries to plant behind the bomb chassis inside a statuary. They had like a minute left still, something like that, or 45 seconds. He could have easily just walked to trophy instead, knowing that the last player is in bedroom, or maybe even walked or they jumped down. They had time to remake that position and make it so at least they can get a refrag or something if they kill him, but that didn't even happen.
Yeah, a lot of, kind of like Penguin said in chat, a lot of question marks about that round, but one thing that is for certain, Parabellum are now even up. Tied at 4-4 for the moment. Whoever wins here will take the lead. Could be Lenny, could be Parabellum. Both have had the lead at some point throughout this match, but it's definitely been Lenny leading the pace, and now it's Parabellum finally starting to catch back up to their rhythm, and in no small part likely due to that Valkyrie. You saw the pings on the planter last time, helped them instrumentally overall. A continued sticking point for Parabellum on their defense is now some adjustments around it as well. Spirits moving to that Ella, always on, I wouldn't say the questionable operator, just always on the black sheep of the bunch, just, you know, okay, mute, Valkyrie, cast, Ella, okay. Not to say Ella's an off-meta pick, but, you know, still is, whenever you've seen Ella, it still has that kind of, like, leftover feeling from when she was very weird to see.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like, it's still helpful, but, you know, sometimes you think there are other operators, or whatever.
Got
but
the shield.
PP has something in mind, though. That's the point here, probably, is that they have something in mind. Whether it goes their way is a different story, but so far, you know, LennyGG have showed us a great early round, as we've stated before in the pre-show. But that mid to late game definitely tends to be lacking at times, unfortunately. And as we go on to our next defense, we're back downstairs to that kitchen site for what would be the first time for Parabellum. We'll see how Lenny plays this out. If they're going to go for a vertical pressure, if they can go for that minimalistic approach we saw from Parabellum and plant, you know, couches like you've seen. It seems though this seems to be purely horizontal for the second. Nobody's upstairs in Master. You saw Slippery over in the living room. You saw Mikey here in Pantry. So far it's been a split horizontal push.
Yeah, well, and this could work, but it's entirely dependent on whether or not you can get those entries onto the 1 or 2 players left on the site, or if you can't get the kills, whether you can isolate them and minimize their potential impact. But you also leave Parabellum to play these vertical angles from up above. Penguin with that super shorty. I don't know how many holes, if he has created any, I assume he has, to contest anybody pushing in from Laundry, from Bicycle, from Pantry, in case anybody tries to take it the way LennyGG are attempting to. First Gershmont will go off. It will signify that somebody, namely Mikey, is pushing in through that area. Gio's also set one off as well over inside of Laundry. Swalen making his way into Library. He's the first one to fall, but Slippery's there for the trade, able to take down Spirits, but it's a minute in, and LennyGG, they have this horizontal control, and they're slowly moving forward, but beyond that, not much else.
Slippery's all alone by himself now in the living room, and PB could collapse on Slippery and deny that side of the push here from them. C4 gets one kill, Penguin kills Storms, Gio gets a kill of his own, but Penguin's there to refrag and take out Slippery, leaving Gio all by himself now in a 1v3. He has the diffuser in hand, or at least by him, next to him, but there's too many players who are watching his movements. He's going to finish off by Penguin, and it's Lenny, or not Lenny, it's PB to take one more and put themselves in the lead, I believe?
Yes, 5-4. Put them in the lead, 5-4. So for LennyGG, they've lost 3 rounds in a row. What exactly has happened? Well, Putting aside the 1v3/2v5 clutch from Parabellum, what you've had is a lack of control. First round in Aviator Games, you had main stairs, took it beautifully.
Again, early
but not much else.
Early
Again,
round was great.
Early round, it's great. But Benny, when it comes to that mid to late round, they have like one, maybe two pieces of territory at their disposal. And beyond that, not much else.
In that second round, too, they had all the time in the world to make that happen. Sure, you had some great flanks from the last two players in PB, but then it was a 2v1. The 2v1, you had the diffuser in hand, just back off. You have 45 seconds to make that plant happen. And instead, they go for the plant right in front of Eska's eyes. Eska pre-fires the first because they have the intel. They still have that camera inside a statuary, and they get the second kill because they know exactly where he is too. And then on the third round, that wasn't even early game. The early game from that one was a purely horizontal push from the side of LennyGG. And it was a slow one at that, allowing PB to move their pieces. Sure, they get the first pick. Well, they get the refrag on the first pick. But they understand where it's coming from. They can collapse on those players, see where they're coming from, and deny the push entirely. So now PB up 3 rounds, or taking 3 rounds back, put themselves in the lead. They go back to Aviator in Games, which could have been the round, but we need to see more than just a good entry game when it comes to Lenny.
That's true. Entries are one thing, but if you're not able to build off of them, well, they don't really mean that much in the long run. You can feel good about yourself for 30 seconds, but if you have no plan after that, or not a good one after that, makes it a little more meaningless. Had a timeout. Parabellum are going back to Aviator Games. Again, we know they can take map control if they need to. They got that main stairs very well. But it's the other areas. Minimizing 90. Eska just sat in 90 for free, and Slippery didn't go to contest him until it was already a 1v3. So it didn't really matter all that much. They're starting over on this side again. That southern side over by main door. They're able to take main stairs control. That's great, but there needs to be a rotation from LennyGG to contest these other sides of the map. And on top of that, you have a Mira to contend with once again. Potentially even the same Mira window extension we saw from LennyGG on their defensive half. Kool-Aid getting aggressive on main, and that extension into Trophy Statuary, excuse me. Parabellum are not leaving any bit of map control to chance, and not leaving anything up for free.
Obstacle after obstacle, that's what you need to put in front of attacking team to make it difficult, make them work for it. Looks like they're trying to at least see if they can take control of main stairs once again. It was Sweden last time with a G8 who just walked upstairs inside of smoke, gets 2 kills. I don't know if they can PB's gonna let that happen once more, but Sweden's gonna work. He's using that sensor to try and find as much info as possible to delete these gadgets on site, these mute jammers. Maybe you can use some of that hard breaching and open something up with Geo on the X Kairos. Though Kool-Aid is giving intel, he's been telling his team, yo, there's someone right below me. Will this happen? I don't want to get slammed once again like last time, but no, it won't happen once again. Kool-Aid is that much wiser. He slams Mikey instead. One of the big entries on the side of LennyGG, and now LennyGG, they haven't found that frayed pick. They haven't gotten that entry kill, that main stairs control that they need.
Kool-Aid hearing Mikey fumble below him for 20 seconds is finally just like, okay, I'll bite, I'll peek you. Okay, I killed you. I'm going back inside now. So that didn't really do anything for LennyGG overall. You still have 3 players down below waiting to take main. Geo who can flash on in, and we're just going to see the same late main stairs push that, while it did work momentarily for LennyGG last time, is still an incredibly risky play overall to try to go for. They won't even have the player to make it work. Sonar is able to take down Swalen. Spirits tags on for 2 for Parabellum, and LennyGG are left in a man deficit on risk of Parabellum going to match point based off a completely one-sided main stairs push. Slippery finally finds one, but as Kool-Aid hops the balcony, elbow drops 2 of them. It's match point for PB. LennyGG took the timeout, and it doesn't look like they fixed those mistakes.
Unfortunate for Lenny, but Parabellum, they're adapting. It's interesting to see that LennyGG's entry is fantastic, but PB are understanding, hey, this is where they're pushing every single time. Sure, they're great fraggers. Sure, their mechanical skill is off the charts. But if they can't understand what we're doing and they can't get that first pick, they're dead in the water. It's unfortunate for Lenny, and PB are understanding how to shut them down now, putting those utility, putting the walls in place to stop them from even getting that first pick. Now Parabellum match point. They go trophy and stash, but it could be our last round.
Indeed, it could be our last round. Of course, this did come down to a 1v3/2v5 from Eska. And so Parabellum, there's a bit of an asterisk on that round win in that a monumental clutch came not only from 2 players, but 1 player in particular. It's still been 4 rounds in a row for Parabellum. A Parabellum that has seemed to be changing up what they wanted to go for, what they've wanted to do, and has also appeared to make some adjustments in this round as well. A bit more pressure down below with a mirror window. I believe he might have placed one downstairs. Yes, he did. And also some more pressure over in Aviator Games. The big problem in this round in particular was those roamers over on Aviator Games getting caught out, caught rotating off, or just caught in their positions. So maybe it's a question of rotating off, or maybe it's a question of just putting more problems in the face of LennyGG. Maybe a bit more utility or what have you. But this round was very nearly won by LennyGG on clearing out that roam. If Parabellum, if they're able to hold off a bit longer, surely it might go in their favor by a bit more drastic and comfortable a margin.
At least trade. At least make trades.
Or trade, yeah, that works too.
That works too. Just trade at least. But so far, it looks like not a lot of the players are now roaming. Only 1 player on this Aviator side. It's just Spirits. Ball by himself, playing that mirror window inside of Aviator. Swaylen once again going to work, destroying these new jammers, allowing for his team to drone out Aviator Games and see who's playing inside. Though it looks like some of those players are returned to Aviator after hearing some of those noises. And Spirits, not Spirits, but Storms last time was huge on the rotate. He's able to get 2 picks on players rotating out of 90, rotating out of games, and coming back to site. Gio's gonna look like he's trying to destroy that mirror with an X Kairos. And downstairs, Sonar is lurking, looking to flank, because that aggression sometimes is needed back. Actually, not Sonar, somebody else downstairs, actually. I couldn't know who it was even. Sonar's upstairs in the game. I'm wrong. But either way, let's see if LennyGG can once again clear out these roamers. Oh, it's Penguin.
It's Penguin. It's Penguin downstairs right now with that
I guess I wouldn't expect it.
I mean, it is Penguin we're talking about, and he's dead. All right, well, Swaylen's on main stairs, able to catch the flank of Penguin, roaming downstairs inside of Library's mirror. Probably scratches his head and be like, okay, that's kind of odd. Meanwhile, as he scratches his head, Slippery fallen. So it's a 4v3. Make that, actually, it is a 4v3. I misspoke, and reality came forth from my lips. Mikey falls soon after. Not having the best game Mikey has, and really LennyGG are not having the best time on this roam clear either, as nobody's been dislodged. You lost Penguin down below, but Sonar, he's still inside of Aviator. He even swings in a 90, but that was a bit of a mistake on his part. Getting a bit over-aggressive, did not know Swaylen's position inside of Classical. It's now a 3v3.
Yeah, that was interesting there. I know he had some intel because I saw Storms destroy that camera previously in Classical, but he didn't know he was walking into a crossfire there from both sides. Spirits is in a really interesting place. I don't know if he knows he's there. Gio here, if he doesn't draw that study, he could easily be picked off, and I think it's going to come to fruition. He's trying to destroy his mirror window. Gio is just trying to do his due diligence and walking into, oh, there's Swaylen. He doesn't know. Spirit gets the kill. Can Gio refrag? No, yes, he can. That's good to see. So now our 2v2 is a much better situation for PB because we're down the last 30 seconds, and there's 2 C4s for the defense. So this has come down to a good situation for these 2 members on PB, but still, Storms and Gio aren't to be trifled with. They still could take this back.
No, it's not, but in the process, he lost Swaylen, who's 15-9. I don't want to put too much of focus on kills, but losing Swaylen still might hurt them when it comes to clutching this out. 2v2, info in their position. Kool-Aid lands the pre-fire right on the head of Storms. Beat it into it. Gio on 50 HP. He'll try to move on in, but he gives his back to Eska. 2 trophy statuary defenses, 1 by Eska inside a bedroom. No better way to end a 7-4 for Parabellum. That started out rocky, but they took all their defenses 5 in a row.
I called it a defense side. I told you that having Mira and Valkyrie available changes Villa so very much. You can see why they're banned all the heckin' time.